Okay, here we are. We've made a connection to the projector as I demonstrated in this earlier video. And now I want to demonstrate some of the tools that you have once you're actually connected. It's important to understand that you've got a couple of different modes here. One is the mouse mode. This button being blue is imperative if you want this pen to control your computer like it was your mouse. So that's basically what's happening right now, is that anything I could do on my computer, pull up my Finder, search through and open all my applications, open a document, create with Microsoft Word. She says as nothing happens. I guess Microsoft Word is taking its sweet time. I think I can open this. Yes, so that's the deal. I'm actually going to close that. Don't save. That was a demonstration I was doing earlier. So we've got mouse mode, where I'm controlling the computer, and then we've got everything else on here, which is all constituted under annotation mode. You've got text tool, you've got shapes tool. I got a handy thing right here. We're going to zoom this. So I just went to my toolbox at the top. Now I'm going to click and drag what I would like to zoom, and it's going to bring it up slightly bigger. Anyway, this is the enlargement of the tools. So I just made sort of a blow up of the tools I wanted to show you. If I were to have chosen something slightly smaller, like the mouse button, it would have blown that up nice and big for you. So this guy is your key to using the computer with this pen. And the other things on here are annotation mode. So when this isn't blue, you see how this is no longer an arrow tool, it's kind of got a dot, because this is now in annotation mode. I am going to click the red fat marker so it's really obvious for you guys to see it, and I'm just going to start annotating. So real simple, if I want to underline or underscore things, show you stuff live while we're interacting, and then I pop back over to mouse mode. I'm going to keep my annotations. You get to decide every time you switch back and forth between annotation and mouse mode if you want to keep the current annotations or get rid of them. That's what that little dialog box was. You'll see it a bunch more times. So if I want to clear what I have on the screen, independent of that little going back and forth, you're going to use this button right there. Do you want to clear the screen? Yes. Once you get really tired of seeing that pop up and you really know what you're doing, you can select the little checkbox it had in there to say, don't show me that box again, please. What else can we do? So see, blue means mouse mode. So I am free to control this. So I can put my pen cursor up there, just like I would on my computer. I can pull up an on-screen keyboard. Again, you do have to select after you open the on-screen keyboard. So now you can see my cursor active up there. And then I could search for oh yeah, this is always good. Continents. But that was a lot of dead space and time. So I'm going to close that up. And I could search for continents right there, and it would go just like it does on my computer. But instead, in Google, I've got a precious little tool that will help me avoid, for the most part, having to type in using the laborious on-screen keyboard. Oh, I've got a red dot. That means somehow I'm out of annotation mode. So I'm going to click the mouse again, clear the screen even though there's nothing there. And then I'm going to press this. Continents. Close.
Here's the definition of continent. Any of the world's main continuous expanses of land: Africa, Antarctica, Asia, Australia, Europe, North America, South America.
Cool. Okay, so we are going to the problem with Google Chrome and this projector is that you can't see how to scroll. So you're kind of stuck, which is annoying. So let me go to image search just for the heck of it. This does not happen to you in Safari. So feel free to use Safari with this browser, with this projector to have a better experience. I have gotten it to show up, but it's not. So we'll just have to bear with. This one's less awesome looking, but whatarethesevencontinents.com. Now, again, I'm having trouble with the scrolling on here. So if I really needed to, I could come back over here. No thanks, I don't like learning new things. Obviously, this is a spammy page. And I don't want to be spammed. So I'm going to find just a plain old image. And I'm going to go ahead and just click and drag that onto my desktop. It's a PNG, I know that will work. Okay, so I'm going back into whiteboard mode. I'm going to get up to my first slide. And I'm going to do what I said I was going to do originally. I'm going to load that background image. So roundabout, back to the toolbox, and clicking background image. Clicking to find it in a folder. I pulled it onto my desktop that time. There's the continents map. I'm going to say open. And then I'm going to close the background interface. So now it's made it full size. So beware, if you pick like a tiny little image, it says it's 60 pixels by 60 pixels. You're going to be trying to look at something that should be about this big, way blown out of proportion. So look for things that are relatively large. You can try it out. Trial and error works. So we made this the background. We could have pulled it in as an image the size that it actually is, and then it would just be an object. So that's this. And now I could shrink it, I could shrink it. So this would be like if you wanted to create a slideshow with pictures, right? So you put 4 or 5 different images on here, create text, and then you'd have like a slide that you might normally see in a slideshow. I'm going to get rid of this one because this one was just a demonstration. So whenever you have an object in whiteboard mode or in annotation mode on the screen view, you can click it to get options, and you can click this little down arrow to get all kinds of options. Most notably, arranging layers. So if you have shapes and images and you want to organize them in a way that works best for you, you can send them to the front or bring them to the back. Or in this case, I'm going to delete that. So here we are, once again, whiteboard mode. And I'm going to demonstrate 2 tools that help you sort of focus attention. So this one's called Spotlight Tool. And if I click on the gray bar, I can change the shape of the circle to expose more or less of the board. If I want to move it around, I click in the black and move it around. The reason you're seeing a little bit of a lag or a delay is because this is screen recording right now, and it's a little bit heavy for it. But this is what I was saying. So you pull the border of the gray of this circle to move it the size and shape, and then you can move it around like a little window. And then you just X out when you're done. So the other tool that's really similar to that is the shade tool. It can block out the whole thing. It's interesting because you can sort of see what's underneath, but not really. And then you just drag this down Again, this is an effect of burdening my processor on my computer. And then you just clear it out. Oh, that's awful. Let me go back to screen mode for a second and let it rest. Okay, back to this view. So we've got our slide tray, right? And we've only got one slide. So on the next one, I'm going to maybe ask a question or something. And like I said, this could have happened ahead of time, and you could have like ways for students to interact with the slides you've created. So I'm going to say, I'm actually coming over here to type it. Which continent includes the country Zimbabwe? Question mark. Okay, so I have asked a simple question. Oh, I didn't really mean to create another text box. So I click on the arrow when I'm done with the text so I can move it around. Then, click the arrow again. And maybe you want to have your kid come up and write the answer. Something like that. Maybe you had another question up there. So I just duplicated that. Text. Oh. Try again. Draw that continent. Okay, so we could have done this ahead of time, right? So I'm going to draw Africa, and from my memory, it looks something like this, I think. Okay, Africa, hooray. So here we are interacting. I've got my slide tray again, and my third one. Not sure what I'm going to do with it, to tell you the truth. But for this demonstration's purposes, let's just say we're going to create a picture, something original. So now we've got a 3-slide deck. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to save that slide deck. I am going to save it as, and then we're interacting with the computer again. So this is saving right within my personal file structure. Let me show you what's going on with the defaults. So by default, everybody's files for Easy Interactive Tools will automatically save inside your documents, inside a folder called Easy Interactive Tools, and then every file you create will be in here. Of course, you can create your own folders within this by selecting New Folder, giving it a name. So if you have folders by classroom or folders by subject, organization is good. Or you could just save everything as 001 and 0011 and 00112 and then have a real fun time trying to find them. Okay, the other thing to note in the save dialog, so if I'm going to name this the continents, oh, don't really need a period, the continents, and I'm going to save it in one of 5 file types. So the default, again, is going to be Easy Interactive Tools.eit will be the ending to anything you create there. And you could save it in this format if you want to be able to open and edit it also in Easy Interactive Tools. If you're done, if your goal is to just kind of create a flat learning artifact, maybe you want to upload it as part of your professional development proofs, maybe you want to share it with kids or send it home to families or publish it on the website. You can do all those things. And let's just go over that super fast. JPEG. JPEG is a traditional image file. It's good for high resolution and print images. And it's an image file, so it's designed to be used where image files are used. So you place an image file in a Microsoft Office document like Word or PowerPoint. A BMP is a bitmap, which is a traditional web format for an image, and you would do that for small images with limited color range. I don't see a lot of reason to save in .bmp format. PDF file, super versatile. It means portable document file, and that's a file format where everybody can read. If you have a browser, you can read a PDF. If you have a phone, you can read a PDF. Computers, everyone, it's universal. So it's a great one to use, as is JPEG. And .png is another great web type image file. So I would say, if you're not going to use it again and open it up and work with it, save it as a JPEG or a PDF. If you are going to use it to insert in another document, like a Word document, JPEG. Standalone, PDF. And if you want it to be like a slide deck, just like it is, PDF is great because you can page through. It will basically become a slideshow of these pages. So I'm going to keep it in Easy Interactive Tools and say save, right where it's supposed to be. But I could have put it anywhere. So I could open another file by clicking that file folder. I created this last time. It's really nothing, but it's another slideshow that I created with 2 slides. Hello and goodbye. And again, I saved this in Easy Interactive Tools format, I believe. So I don't want to save it. Just go away. And if I were to click, so I can just highlight and move things around again. If I had saved this as a PDF, that would not be happening right now. We would just be looking at a flat image. I could continue to make annotations on top of that flat image, but none of the pieces I had created before would be active. So this is the .eit, Easy Interactive Tools format. So it's live. If I save it, I can make a copy and use it the following year. So I keep a template, and then I keep a final work that had been interacted with and drawn on by students and stuff like that. So, so if that was the case and I was using a template, I would create a copy and open the copy and use a new copy each year of my template. We've got more tools. Let's see. I went over Zoom, Spotlight, Shade, importing an image. These guys, this is one button to pull up your on-screen keyboard. This is the settings, which once you really get into your using this tool, you might actually want to explore. I'm not going to spend the time on it in this video. You can print if you have a printer connected and you want this to go straight out to a printer for a kid, or for whatever reason, you can just go ahead and straight print. This will save like a screenshot of what we have. So it's not that useful here. It's great if you're annotating in screen view. So anyway, also new document. So do I want to save? Yeah, I made changes to my document, so I'm going to save it. And then I have a new one. You can see it's only one slide. It's not the one we were using before. I can go back to the folder to get either the continents or the GOO one that I had before. I'm not going to save this new one. I'm going to go back to screen mode. And, not in mouse mode. So I'm going to clear the screen because I didn't mean to make that annotation. And then I'm going to go back to mouse mode. Okay. So I personally am ready to check that box, but I just want to show you it's going to pop up for you again and again and again. So what else before we pop off here? There's a document camera function, and we're still working out the kinks in how to actually make your document cameras that you have traditionally had in the classrooms work. So stay tuned for that. But for now, there's kind of a cool function that connects to your FaceTime HD camera. Now this is probably going to completely blow my hard drive, my processor, but I just think that's cool. So I can actually record video and annotate that video for what it's worth, right? I can see an instance where kids might be like sitting at a desk connected to the projector and filming themselves and create like a skit or something like that. And then like live while that's happening, somebody could be doing something else on the computer screen, like turning me into a flower or something. I didn't click record because I don't want to do that right now. But you can see that I am just creating on the surface. So if I create myself that space and then I say record, I'm going to save it as test. Okay, that didn't work too well because again I said I'm completely overloading this computer. Test to video. Okay, and I'm going to hit return, which is the same as saying save in this case. So now I'm recording, and here's me in the middle of the thing that I drew on the screen. I can see applications for this, although most of them are silly, because that's how my mind works. I'm going to stop it. Told me where it's saved to, and now I'm going to go ahead and disconnect from this. So all I did was, there's a drop down. This was the nothing option, and FaceTime HD camera is what most of you will see if you have a built-in webcam in your Mac. And that's what we did. So I already stopped it. Now what it did, I'm going to close this. And yeah, I don't want to save the annotation on the camera. I'm going to let that go away. But if you wanted to, you could save it there and use it next time. Cancel. Oh, I didn't mean to hit cancel. Sometimes I don't pay as much attention as I should while I'm trying to talk and do. Do you want to save the annotation data? No. And then I am going to, mouse mode. Put that down. And I am going to pop into my Easy Interactive Tools folder. So in my Finder, I'm going into Documents, Easy Interactive Tools, and then here's the video. Oh, I don't see any annotation on that video, but, oh, I didn't start it that way, so, oh. I just want to open it. Yelling at your computer helps. Okay, so let's see what this video looks like. Okay, you can see that it didn't record audio. I don't know why that is, but it's something that can be turned on because I have worked with at least one person for whom it did record the audio. So hold tight on that. So that's about it. You've got your annotation tools, you've got mouse mode, you've got a whiteboard and a screen mode, and you've got a box of tools up there, and you've got saving straight to your computer there. So that's probably way more than you wanted to know or listen to, but I feel pretty confident that at this point we have exposed you to most of the tools. For those